All right, so we're going to talk about this bullshit real quick. Now, this is a young lady named Twilight Maat, and she follows my content, trolls all my comment section. She is somebody who, hates black men but doesn't know it, pretends like she loves us, but, really doesn't, because she's got all these negative opinions about us that have no statistical basis in reality. And even when I disprove them, instead of admitting that and letting that go, she needs us to be dog shit. She needs black men to be dog shit so that black women can be victims, so that they can be martyrs, so that they can be Jesus Christ on the cross, right? And we're, Pontius Pilate, or we're Judah, or Judas, crucifying them. So here's an example of how, even though they've got this negative opinion about us that we can prove is clearly untrue, instead of just admitting it and letting it go, they will parlay it into some other type of issue. And you're going to see that in this issue, instead of her accepting responsibility or saying that this is something that's on black women to change, she blames it on patriarchy, toxic masculinity, misogyny, and stupid shit like that. So let's take a look at what she has to say.
For anyone that's curious, go ahead and watch the prior video for context. As you know, the guy I stitched is none other than Mr. Grandiose Blasphemer. And I can't lie. This particular statistic is spot on when I did the calculation myself, although I went a different route.
So she's saying that the statistic I provided to show that we're not all prison birds, and it's an incredibly low percentage of black men who are prison birds, she went through separate information to try to disprove it and ended up finding that I was right. So I proved it through my data, which is on my page, which I believe she linked through the video, and then proves it through her page as well, that I am right and that the information I'm providing is right. So let's keep it moving.
So what we have to understand is it's not the prison population that is the problem. There's something else more pervasive, and I will show you in just one moment. Now, often when black women go ahead and speak on the issues that they are having with black men, especially when it is synthesized through the manosphere spaces, it is often dismissed and cleverly hidden behind statistics that black women are trash.
All right, so let's stop her right here for a moment. So she said that the information is being synthesized, but she went and looked for the same information and found that it was true. So the information isn't being synthesized. It's not being created. It's not being altered. It's not being misrepresented. The information was accurate. And when she took the time to verify it, she found out just that. But instead of just admitting that, she wants to try to create, some type of, context that the information is being manipulated somehow to, make it look like black men are something that we're not. When the truth of the matter is you're the one who's lying on us. You're the one telling the world that we're all in prison. And here you are showing that that about 2% of us are.
That we don't know how to pick them. And the suffering that we are enduring with our men is of our own volition. But let us dig deeper. Now, as far as the calculation of the 2,300 inmates per 100,000 black men in 2018, which was not that far from 2020, we see for every 100,000 free black men, there are 2,300 of them are in jail.
Men in prison of the 19 M free men approximately.
Men. So basic math, how many times does 100,000 go into 19 million? 190 times. So once you multiply that by 2,272, you get about 473,000. 473,000 of 19 million gives you about roughly anywhere from about 2.3 to 3%. So I wanted to see what could there possibly be that is so disparaging between black men and black women. And I do believe I found it. Most people swear up and down it's college, but about 19% of black men have higher level degrees, right? 24% of black women have degrees. There's a gap, but it's not insane, right?
So that's a 5% difference, just so you guys know. 20% of black men, roughly 25% of black women. And which website did she use to show this? Blackdemographics.com. which our women shout down consistently when they say that statistics, data, facts, and all of this stuff aren't true because they're manipulated by the white man, even though this is a website made by black people for black people about black people. So she goes to the website and finds that there's only 5% difference in college education. So it's not that we're not college educated. That's why you're not. That's not why you're having a problem finding a good man, and it's not because we're all in prison either. So let's see what she says.
Here's where it gets crazy. 64% of black women have white-collar jobs, but only 41% of black men have white-collar jobs. So the issue is...
You hear that dumbass sound she just made? Everybody knows that the majority of black men are blue-collar workers. Electricians, plumbers, construction workers, mechanics, HVAC, right? Like, so what? So what if we work in water disposal, water filtration plants and, waste disposal and stuff like that? These are still good incomes and good jobs. These men are making anywhere from $40,000 to $120,000 as plumbers and electricians and construction workers and roofers and stuff like that. But let's see why she thinks this is a problem.
Or so economics. Plus, we must include in the prison population
We just said that the prison population is less than 2%. So here she is reaching again.
Overall class level of job, and also the median earnings for black men being significantly less than black women. But
the median earnings for black men are not significantly less than black women. In fact, we out-earn you. So there's absolutely no data you produce to say that you out-earn us whatsoever. You're just saying that. It's more made-up bullshit being synthesized through the echo chamber of the sisterhood. And I challenge you to find any information that states that you out-earn us. If anything, there isn't the wage gap and all of that shit that you're talking about between us, because you guys earn almost just as much as we do, even though we do still out-earn you. And so it's not that we don't earn enough money. Right? Let's see what she's saying the issue is, because apparently 64% of our sisters are white collar workers. And we're going to talk about what that means.
To prove that statistically, even though we all knew that intuitively. Why is this important? Because misogyny hurts men too. Patriarchy hurts men too.
So it's misogyny and patriarchy. But who is enforcing the misogyny and patriarchy in this instance? If the reason the women say that there are no good men is because the men are blue-collar workers and they're white-collar workers, which, by the way, is working customer service at fucking Xfinity or Comcast or any HR department or administrative departments. These aren't lawyers and doctors and all of that shit. These white-collar working women of ours are in customer service. They are receptionists. So a receptionist in a black community making $30,000 a year thinks she's too good to date a plumber who's making $50,000 a year. And that's what she's saying the problem is. So the racism, the classism, the patriarchy, all of this shit, the toxic masculinity that she's saying is hurting the black community is being done by the women based off her video. Because nobody else is forcing you to not take a plumber or somebody that is a blue-collar worker seriously. You could 100% do that, since now you find out that 98% of your men are not in fucking jail. But you don't want to do that because it's a classism thing. So who is enforcing the classism if black women who are receptionists refuse to date plumbers and HVAC workers? It's you. It's you. But here we are having this disingenuous bullshit conversation. And I'll tell you why. Because you need us to be dog shit. You need us to be wrong. You need us to be the devil so that you don't have to take responsibility for the fact that you like bad boys. You like toxic boys. You like scammers. You let people beat it up wrong. You carry children for irresponsible men before marriage. And that is not a black man's choice. You are responsible for the choices you make in your own life. I am responsible for the choices I make in my own life. And that is why I unequivocally tell black men, do not date. Do not marry, do not have children with, do not have sex with, and most of all, do not argue with modern women. Do not do it. It is pointless. It is useless. They will never admit fault. They will never admit that they're wrong. Even when they do admit that they're wrong, they will come up with some other bullshit as to why there is a problem. And you are giving an excellent and perfect example of that.
Also, black men need to learn to compare themselves to other groups of men and races instead of comparing themselves to their women.
All right, so here she is making an entire video comparing black men to black women and then closing the video by saying that we need to stop comparing ourselves to our women. You can't get any fucking stupider than that as a point. You can't make a point any stupider than that to make an entire video about the shit. Fuck out of here.